some nice old topics. And so let's go ahead and start off with this generational wealth in the black community. Um, Shannon and I kind of discussed this a little bit, and I'm going to let Shannon go ahead and talk about this, and I'll join in too, and then everybody else also, because a lot of people do not understand what generational wealth is. Period. So can you go ahead and break it down a little bit, and then we'll just feed off and go off of whatever you say, and people can agree and disagree or
Okay.
whatever.
Okay. In simplistic terms, basically living assets and things of that nature to your relatives. Like, I mean, like, like if I was going to leave it to Robert and Daniel so they could be able to prosper and do better, than I look at it as doing better than what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times in the black community, we are either afraid to do that or don't do that for whatever reasons. Maybe it's we can't afford it, or just maybe we don't want other people to do get rich off of us, so to speak. So I just think it's very important. That's something that that I tried not trying to do to for my younger my nephews, and things of that nature. So this thing is very important.
Yeah, and our discussion was tailored on that because we was talking about how a lot of people in different cultures, they leave it to their, relatives, their kids, their offspring,
Hmm.
and you don't see that a lot in the black community. If you do, you don't hear about it, and that's okay. But I don't think
Hmm.
it's prevalent like it is in the you know the white people, compared to black people and all like this. We know they do it in other races. Um, I wish, I mean, we're not sitting here counting up his pennies, but you know, if you work from the bank, you'll see sometimes somebody come up. They got big. You never know. But also the generation wealth and what really how it came about is that it's a lot of stuff that could be built, donated, stuff like that in the black communities that are not. And sometimes these people are dying off, and the money is kept by the government, or maybe they, give it to I don't know something else. But if you don't sit here and have a will or try to see if your youngsters or the generations below you can prosper, then this money is going straight to government. It's not going into the neighborhoods. It's not going to the schools. It's not nothing like that. And that's why we wanted to bring it up because, like, people probably don't realize that, but you get people who donate to like Ballard Mail, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that, and they still taking care of their kiddos. You don't see that. I mean, and that brings up Shawnee and all this kind of stuff like that. So, y'all got anything about the generational wealth? Do y'all see that as a issue and things like that? Because when you already have a leg up, you don't have to worry about too much of anything. I mean, you can go chase your dreams to be a sports podcasters or whatever you can do because you're taken care of no matter what. When you have to go ahead and do what you have to do and put your own nickels and pennies and still work 2 or 3 jobs when the other person is probably stuff in past long, it's making a lot easier. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Well, I agree. One thing I feel
See,
like is
some like yes.
like
I'm going ahead. Go ahead,
we
Tia.
don't take advantage of life insurance policies. As a community, we don't. And
Hmm.
I think you see people are starting to take out policies, which is great. And I think it's steadily increasing because it's definitely, I feel like more people are selling the policies, but there's many, especially in black communities, don't have life insurance policies. And so when you look at and you
Hmm.
think about the history of how some Caucasians have received some wealth, it was from the death of a loved one. I mean, so they pass the money down, and some of it is by form of life insurance.
True. Mark, yeah, but you got to say
Yeah,
something.
and it's funny. It's funny that you say that about life insurance because I promise you, my mother was probably on me for about 10 years straight to get life insurance on my kids. or whatever. So, and I'm just we've had it like for, I done had life insurance on my kids for about 3 years now. So, and this is a great conversation because it makes a lot of sense with how these kids these days, understand what I'm saying, dropping like flies. And a lot of people don't have life insurance on their kids. You understand what I'm saying? So it's very important. I love this conversation. It's important, like she said, to get life insurance.
True.
Yep.
Sierra, you got anything you want to add to that?
And I was gonna say that I think it's because a lot of people that in the Black community, they probably like they can't afford it, and sometimes as people we tend to like, some people they spend their money differently, so they don't get the things that are important. So that's
true.
True. No,
So instead of some of
great.
these people buying Jordans, need to get life insurance on their kids.
well,
Yeah.
and life insurance on themselves.
That too.
Because like you said, most work, most work, it may come off only $2.50 off your check. I mean, and it's not that much. You just got to do it. And you're right. Make sure the whole family's taken care of because you just never know. And that wishful thinking or that bad thinking of thinking that I don't want a life insurance because I don't want you to get rich off me. You know what I'm saying? That's a bad thing to have. And it's people like that. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm not prospering from that. You're going to prosper. And that goes back to, being competitors among each other. You know what I'm saying? Being that taught that way, instilled that way back slavery, competitors and, don't look out for each other and things like that. And that's a problem, that we still trying to overcome big time. And that's a shame, but it's true. No other race is dealing with that. It's just us. Like, I'm not doing that because, Mark, you're going to eat off of me. Well, you know what? Whatever. You can't do nothing with it. You know what I'm saying? But that's far.
Right.
All right, this next one. Let's go to the next.